So shall I go?
जी सर.
Okay. Namaskar and good afternoon everyone to this meeting of Tuesday gatherings. Let us start with a prayer to the Guru Principle, the principle of grace from which everything flows, everything that is auspicious and that is transformative. Om Akhandamandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwarah Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Shri Sadguruve Namaha. So a very warm welcome once again, and we have a very interesting topic to think of and contemplate about, and a very wonderful speaker who is going to introduce the subject to us and speak through her personal experience. And she is Reena Sen. I met Reena some years ago. It looked like it was an accident. But there was more to it, and we both discovered it soon. I think Reena will speak about it, that will be better. But I must tell you that I just her name cropped up on Facebook. And somebody, perhaps some friend of mine, she had an Akashic record reading done by Reena, and she had written a wonderful note on Facebook about how she felt and how many of her issues had got resolved. There was something about the name, Reena Sen. It just stood out. And that lady who had written this particular note, she had also given her number. So there was this strange pull that, I must connect with her. I was intrigued at my own desire or urge, that inner urge, that why do I want to connect with a lady whom I don't know? And I didn't have any question. People who go for Akashic Records readings, they must have a question. So I had no question. But I watched this thought, it remained predominant. So I gave Reena a ring, and she gave me an appointment. And she was living not very far from my place. So even while I was driving down to see her, it was about 10:30 in the morning, I still had this question coming up again and again. Why am I going to see her? I don't even have a question. And yet, I landed up at her flat, just sat there, and we started talking. The reading was done, but something more unfolded there. And we discovered that we had been connected through some past life, and it was the soul connection which had sort of forced me to go and see her. What that connection was, I will leave it to Reena to talk about it. But we forged an immediate, very intimate, very personal relationship, and it has been like that, though we haven't been able to meet physically. Even otherwise, in today's world, it is not possible for people to get together physically. But there has always been a very, very strong connection. So it is a great pleasure for me to hand over the proceedings to Reena, and she is going to talk about it. I am sure everybody is going to be greatly benefited because the entire sharing that she is going to do is personal and it is transformative. Why are we here in this world? We are here to receive the gift of transformation. And transformation does not come on a platter. You have to work for it. And Reena has worked for it. So I leave it to her to really take you through this session, this proceedings, and you will know what kind of a person Reena is. So Reena, a very warm welcome. We are so happy to have you here.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a ton. And I'm thankful to all of you for having me here today to talk about something which over the years has truly become my soul work. If I can put it in one word, it would be my soul work in this lifetime. Whatever sir जो share कर रहे थे, when he came for that reading, what stands out to me even today is that the moment I opened or connected with his records, I will share with you what is an Akashic record and how I connect with it. But for the moment, I would just want to share that the moment I opened the records, I was literally instructed by my guides to get up and touch his feet. And I'm like, okay, for him, I'm a stranger. For me, he is a stranger. And to do that, why do you want me to do it? And it was like he has been a father figure for me in some other lifetime. So the soul connect got immediately highlighted, shown what was our past life connect as to why we even were pulled to meet up or to have that interaction. So that's exactly what I did. I went and touched his feet and then I started crying. I still remember for a while there were only tears. And even now, if you ask me what the tears were about, I won't be able to articulate that. But that's the kind of soul connect I have with him, and I'm blessed, and it's pure grace that I was reconnected with him in this lifetime. So that's how Sir and I connected, and I'm a CA by profession, so a very logical person per se, an only child of parents who are very simple, and so am I. My whole journey with Akashic Records started because of my father. But before I go there, I would just want to capture in brief what is an Akashic record. So each soul, when we go through the various lifetimes, our journey gets captured. Like in Hindus, they say there is Chitragupta, who is like accumulating, or rather, who has the capture of everything that we are doing in every lifetime. So it's like, as a client put to me in the right perspective, that as a CA, I have been handling the financial balance sheet. As an Akashic record reader or facilitator, it is about handling the balance sheet of lifetimes. So whatever karmic give and take we have done, the debits and the credits, that's also a balance sheet. So in essence, Akashic record is the soul book in the ether, in the Akasha, and it captures everything that we have ever thought, intended, done, not done across lifetimes. So it is the audio video library of everything, so to say, vibrationally, that we have ever been in any lifetime. So as my teacher says, or as we sometimes laughingly say, that we are all superstars because everything that we have ever done is captured. Nothing escapes and nothing is forgotten. It is there in the ether. It is the vibrational imprint of everything that we have ever been is there. And when we connect with that soul book, or when we are allowed to connect with that Akashic record, we are able to assimilate the essence of our journey. As in, why am I here? Why have I taken this particular physical form? Why have I chosen the parents or the family that I'm born in? So, everything about my life journey, or your life journey, or anybody's, can be understood when we access the Akashic record, because it captures the genesis of everything, the cause and the effect, the whole journey of the choice and the consequences. So, in short, Akashic record is your soul book. The vibrational library in ether has a soul book for each soul who has incarnated in the physical form. And by accessing it, we can understand our journey. Now, how did I get into all of this? I mean, I had no clue about these things. I did know that there are many lifetimes, and I had read the book of Dr. Brian Weiss about it, many masters, many lives, and quite a few other things. But I had no clue about Akashic record per se. My dad was a mechanical engineer, a very simple man, but a gifted man, and I had always seen him being a maverick, creating things, and I had never seen him harming anybody. But he had contracted rheumatoid arthritis, and over a span of 14 years, I had seen him going through the worst kind of hell possible physically, physical health wise. And it so happened that when he transitioned, although I mean, as a daughter, whatever I could have done, I had done, but two questions remained with me, and they were very burning questions. Could I have done something more for him to save him, or to kind of help him live longer? And the other question was, why did he suffer so much? Why did he have to go through a lung collapse as a result of rheumatoid arthritis, which doesn't happen? It's a rare, these are rare cases. So why did he have to go through that? So this started me on the journey of trying to understand the whys of events in my life. And my dad transitioned in 2005, and I met the man that I married in 2007. And interestingly, he was 6.5 years younger than me. Now, as I said, I am a CA, I am trained to be very logical. So, this again did not fit into my logic. Okay, romance, love, whatever you call it. But somehow, the question was, why? Why this man, and why the way it all happened? So, basically, with these two basic questions, I had gone in for a past life regression therapy session for myself, and this had happened sometime back in 2008 2009. During the session itself, I was taken into a space of life between life, as in I had already exited one human life, and the other birth was pending. And there, during that life between life, I was given my soul book to understand the lessons of the life that I had already exited and the one that I was going to get into. The therapist was surprised, and when we came out of that session, she was like, this doesn't happen usually. There are very specific kind of therapy sessions which are required to take you to a life between life. I don't know why you went there, but you went there, and you were actually shown your soul book, the Akashic record. That was actually the first taste, or rather first introduction I had to Akashic Record. The sense, the space, and the information, the insight, the wisdom that got downloaded or shared with me during that session was profound for me. And I wanted to connect back to that space. From 2009 till 2014, I would have tried downloading different meditations, connecting with some things so that I can again go back there. Nothing happened. In 2014, I got to know about an Indian lady who is my teacher, who lives in Canada, that she was going to hold the workshops on Akashic Records. The moment I got to hear it, I was like, I'm going there, because I still had certain questions about my own journey and I wanted to know them firsthand. So for me, it was like fish to water. I still remember the first time I was in the class and we were taken through a meditation. Uh, it was like coming home. It was like going back to what was my core essence. So the journey started in 2014 with the first level, and then of course, uh, when you are doing the course, you also have to do seva readings, as in sessions that you give to people. And I had no planning of becoming a reader or a facilitator at that point in time. My only selfish motive was to get my own answers. But as luck would have it, and as the divine planning was, more and more people would recommend to somebody else, and people started coming for their sessions, and every session was a revelation. As in, when we were asked to do seva readings, my first thought was, who will I do it for, and why will anybody come to me? I mean, I'm a professional from the finance sector. Even talking about this, you know what, I do this would be so funny. I mean, who is going to take it seriously, or what am I going to add on? I know these people in my life. I know their major life events. What will I add on? But interesting part was that every session really became a window, a sort of breakthrough for people, and it was always like an amazing space for me. And that's how I kept on doing further levels with my teacher and became a facilitator in due course. For me, the journey with Akashic Records has been hugely transformative in more ways than one. When my dad had transitioned, none of my relatives had come except my Masi. And for whatever reason, it was a huge, kind of blockage for me, that how could my own relatives not be there when my dad transitioned? And I was in that victim mode. Oh, they are so bad, or whatever judgments I had. Much later, of course, my guide showed that if they had turned up during that space, one, it would have not allowed the completion of the karmic give and take that I had with my dad, and two, somewhere it would have messed up the relationships even more, because there were so many grievances, so many hurts that I was nurturing. Uh, because of understanding the journey with my dad and what his journey was by going through everything that he went through, I could move away from the space of being a victim. I understood his life journey. I understood my role in that, and therefore, the whole grievance, the whole lens that I had towards others dropped or became clear. It was no longer okay. They are the perpetrators of something, and I am a victim. The other thing that has happened over the years is that with the Akashic records, when I am given, when I am shown what is the genesis of something, why something is in my life, it gives me the perspective to process things. And that has always helped me uh, get out of stuck feelings, stuck emotions, or a stuck pattern. Whatever I'm sharing are very private, personal things, but I feel safe here, and therefore I'm sharing what I'm sharing. with the partner that I chose to get married to, and as I shared that he was younger to me, and so the question about why us took me back to a lifetime where I had been a mother to him. So we all play different roles in different lifetimes. It's like a whole drama company of souls where we choose to play different roles so that the other souls can complete their journey as well as we can fulfill our karmic give and take with them. So in some other lifetime, while he was a very small kid, and I was very besotted with him, so besotted that I didn't realize the dangers that I was running into, and I was killed. And this child had a very, very tough life in that lifetime. So it was avoidable. I could have saved myself and I could have been there for him, but for whatever whole trauma drama that unfolded. So there was a lot of give and take with this man, where I literally had to fulfill the role of a mother that had not been fulfilled in that lifetime. So in this lifetime, literally, he's still a very good friend, and there is a lot of respect for each other. But we have played the roles that we have played, and his role was to be the channel of spending lots of money. So there were a lot of karmic give and take that I had from another lifetime, and that lifetime got revealed to me in detail some 6 months back. Okay, so I've been doing this work for years now, but until I was ready to fully see what I had done and what the consequence had been, I was not even shown the full story. But 6 months back, I was shown that during the Nazi regime, I was a doctor, and for of course reasons that were disclosed, that I was put in a situation where it was my family or do what we are asking you to do. I didn't have the courage to say that okay, kill me or whatever, but I wanted to safeguard my family, and I ended up doing what they wanted me to do, which was not a great thing. Had a very painful death in that lifetime, and the karmic outrage that got built in that lifetime somewhere has been the reason why I had to go through a lot of financial loss, a lot of health issues with my parents. So, a lot of, cleansing up act, if I can put it that way. So, these connections, when it is shown that, okay, you have done this, so whether it is killing of one man or killing of 10, but the karmic outrage or the karmic give and take can translate into many different things. So for me in this lifetime, it has been nearly a crore that I have paid off as debts on behalf of somebody else. So if you look at it, it might sound crazy that I'm able to say it with, not, oh my God, why me? Because I understand why me. If it had not been money, it would have been health and money. That's the clarity that is there because of my guides and because of the work that I do. So in a way, I'm grateful that he became the source of whatever financial losses happened in the market and wherever, and that I was given the opportunity of sort of squaring up all of those things. So, Akashic Records per se really helps you understand the genesis of something that you are currently dealing with, and that makes things easier to assimilate, to deal with, because once I've been shown, when these details are shown, they are I'm not a clairvoyant, like I'm not a very visual person, but this is like a thought download. So I'm given details, it's like a narrative, a script being shared with me. You have done this, and so this is the consequence of this, and this is what is happening. So when these things come, it makes you pause. It makes you assimilate everything and see things in a very different light. And therefore, the bitterness or the angst that sometimes we hold against people, against incidents, it simply dissipates. That's how I will put it. I still remember, before I go there, let me say one thing. The sessions that happen, I have no memory of the sessions. So it was very difficult for me to put together incidents to narrate to you, because it's like a channeling session. When I'm doing a reading for somebody, when I'm connecting with your Akashic record, whatever flows through is for you. And the moment the session is done, I almost have no memory of the session. Everything is taken out of my memory cache, so to say. So that is how the confidentiality aspect of a client is also maintained automatically. Couple of things, of course, are so vibrant and visual, so I am just capturing them for you. So one of the times that I was doing a session for someone in the initial days actually, and he was asking questions that he was asking, and suddenly I was shown luscious mangoes. And here I am like wondering, इनके क्वेश्चन में तो आम का कहीं कुछ लेना देना नहीं है, why I am being shown this? But we are trained, so to say, to impart everything that we are shown or made to hear or made to receive as a thought with the client that we are doing the reading for. So when I shared it with this person, again he was from Pune, by the way, there are a lot of Pune conversation that was happening today. So he said that yes, मेरा आम का bagan है. So I was like, okay, very good. He has this आम का bagan. My question to the guides were, उनके आम के bagan से मुझे क्या लेना देना? Why are you showing it to me? What is the message there? And then beautifully it was shown, it was revealed that his prosperity is linked with land. So he always needs to be the owner of any land. And then the man said, yeah, I own, and you know what, I'm selling off land and I'm also purchasing land. So the guidance next was that he always has to be an owner. So he should not be in a space where he sells off everything and is not an owner of any land and then buys. So his guides were trying to put across that whatever he was doing, it was more of validation for him that that's the right way. That buy some, keep the rest. So, you know, he didn't ask for it, but his guides wanted, the Akashic record keepers, they wanted him to know what is good for him, what is going to keep him prosperous. So many such things happen, and they happen very beautifully. One of the things very recently that I'm reminded to share is a lady, she is the wife of an industrialist and all of that. Beautiful part is that whenever somebody comes to get a reading done, I never Google. I never try to get any information about the person, howsoever that person might be placed, because I don't want to have any filters, and the guides are also don't. Now, this lady, when she did the record, was shown that she has a lot of blessings from Ma Anandmai. And somewhere she was not really connected with the energies of Ma Anandmai per se at that point in time. In a week's time, she shared, she calls up actually, and she shares, we got a chance to go to her ashram in Gujarat, and I was just crying. I was just crying and I was just crying. So the thing was, she was getting the blessings and the Shakti part, or whatever we call it or term it. She understood that. She is spiritually quite evolved. So when the masters, when the spiritual teachers that we have worked with in other lifetimes want us to do something, what I have found is they give instructions through a reading. Many times, I would say at least 60 to 70% of the times, when I access somebody's records, the very first messages that come are around the masters that they have worked with and that they have a lineage with, because it's like a fixed deposit. So in some other lifetime you have done sadhana, you have done work with that guru, with that master, and in this lifetime either you're already again working with them, or you're forgotten, or you have not yet reconnected with them and they want you to reconnect. Then during a reading, those are the first things that come through, that you know what, you have a lineage with Lord Shiva or with whomsoever. And it is interesting to note that most of the times the client will say, yes, I feel a connect, that I am working, that I, 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 believe in this God, or in this deity and this master. Or else after a while I get to hear many a times people do connect back and tell what has worked for them or what has been of essence to them, and they then say, yeah, like this lady shared that yes, she went there and she received more of grace. So Akashic Records helps you understand your lineage, work with that in a way uh, which helps you evolve, is how I will put it. uh, Interestingly, many times when people come, they are reminded of their patric, paternal, ancestral gods and goddesses. So many people have uh, temples or deities that they have not gone to for ages. Kul Devi and Kul Dev, to be very precise. And when those images are shown or the names are given, I have no clue. But I'm actually made to even pronounce it or spell it out. And then I get a validation that yes, that is a Kuldevi or Kuldevta that they have had and have not been going. So what happens is our ancestors or these deities wait for us to connect back because we have to ask. They can't overrule our free will, if you will look at it from that perspective. So any prayer that we make or anything that we wish for is our way of कहते हैं ना आह्वान करना. So when you invite them into your life, they are able to bless us. So many times during the readings, people are reminded of their Kul Devi, their Kul Devta, so that they can go back and reap the benefits of the FD जो फिक्स डिपॉजिट किसी और लाइफ टाइम में किया था या इस लाइफ टाइम में है. गो एंड गेट इट. दैट इज द काइंड ऑफ nudge the guides give through a Akashic record reading. Uh, the life purpose with which we have come in this human incarnation is also something that is either asked by the client or many a times it is shown by the guides. I usually request people to keep their questions handy and ready so that they can get the most out of the sessions. And interestingly, when I connect with the records, I usually connect with the records 5 or 10 minutes prior to the session. And quite a few downloads, information that is given. When I share it with the client, they say, you know what, we had been wanted to ask this. So it is crazy amazing the way the guides preempt and give details that the client is willing to receive, ready to receive for their growth, for their well-being. And also, what also happens if a person is very closed, does not want me to know much, I will draw a blank. I will not be shown anything and will be given the instruction that you know what, ask the client to ask the questions. So then it becomes a Q&A. Whatever question they will ask, I will be given the limited purview that the client is willing to share with me to get shared with him or her. So it's crazy and it is meticulously done. And the beautiful part is with different people, it is different ways in which the information gets imparted. So if a client is clairvoyant, as in if they are very happy seeing images, then I might get the information more in by way of images or whatever. If the client is happier receiving narratives, so that might come. In effect, what a session does is to bring you to an understanding and an openness of receiving what is relevant for you. Uh, I still remember one particular incident or a reading where a lady was very angry with one particular person in her life because that person would trigger her in different ways. And even during the session, when everything was shared with her, she was like, these are all stories, I'm okay, whatever it is, but I'm not convinced. And you know what? This doesn't give me the kind of solace I was looking for. I was like, in all humility, there is nothing in my hands. Whatever is getting shown is what I'm sharing with you. The funny or the beautiful part was 2 days after that session, she calls up and says, I don't know what you did, but something has shifted. I was like, okay, what is it? I don't know. That man is still there, but now I can't get angry with him. I was like, okay. So, whatever shifted during that session, none of us can really pinpoint and articulate it, but something shifted. Some contract got closed, or some blessing happened such that the man stopped being a trigger in her life. Many a times I have been witness to, and happily so witness to, things shifting for people, like transformations happening in ways that are really, really nothing short of miracles. I will share a little incident of a client who had come to me through some other known friend, and she had a very, very tough relationship with her boss. It was like she hated the sight of him. That was the kind of energy that she had with this guy. Couple of months later, when we were doing the session, I was suddenly shown that there is a person in her life that she is feeling attracted to, and is actually her boss. And I was hesitating because I was like, I knew she hates her boss. So either there is a new person who has come in, or it doesn't make sense, But it was whatever it was, and I had to share. And the moment I shared, she says, you know what? I don't know how, but yeah, the equation has changed, and we have become friends. So, whatever information was given to her about him and her somehow had transformed the space between the two of them. So much so that later on, this boss was referred to me by this lady. And when we went into his records, we discovered many other things, of course. And later on, it so happened a point came in time where relationships come up big time in the readings, and all kinds of complexities are there. And initially, I used to be very not disturbed, but I was like, okay, this is difficult to see and to figure out for people. But then the understanding also came with time that relationships are nothing but soul contracts, unfinished business with other souls. So, whether there is a triangle or whether there is whatever in the relationship, we might have an ethical or moral view about it. But in the realm of the souls, they are only soul contracts, unfinished business which is to be taken care of. So there came a point where this boss of hers, his wife, got onto a joint session with me because there were certain things, issues that were there. And both of them were having certain relationship angles which in the common parlance would be frowned upon. But as a couple, they had the courage and the willingness to understand each other's journey as to why they were having these other people in the relationship. What was the contract with them? And that one session was an eye opener for me in more ways than one. And I salute those people who had the courage to go through it. They are, by God's grace, strongly going as a couple. But to have the courage to sit through and to understand the dynamics of why there are other people in the relationship was something incredible for me. So, I mean, many kinds of things get unfolded during a session because people have to understand what are their karmic give and take with other souls, what are the lessons that they have to learn. And very rarely it happens that I'm asked to not do a reading. That also happens. So if a client, if somebody is persistently engaged in a particular pattern in their life and they come for a reading, something is revealed to them, something is given to them, and yet they stick with their own way of being, the guides will stop giving information also. They might say, you know what, just stop it. There is no more need to do it any further. I've had only two or three such occasions where I was prompted and guided to say, you know what, ask them to stop it and not come back to you. Maybe because one, they might benefit from somebody else, or it's time that you do not take this on anymore. So, the record keepers are divine beings who have never incarnated in the physical form. So, they are energy beings who are there to guide us, who take care of the whole library, the vibrational library, in a way that is safe, that is secure, and all the guidance comes through very beautifully and in a very sacred fashion. Um, Different people receive the readings when they engage in how to do the reading. People have different ways of receiving messages, but important aspect is that somehow the record keepers and the guides find a way of communicating in a way that it makes sense for the person who wants to receive it. For me, over the years, whatever I've gone through, whether in the personal space where I got married and I've come out of a marriage also, my own journey as a CA, as an Akashic record reader or facilitator, I don't think I would have been able to make sense of it if I was not guided, if my space was not held lovingly but firmly by my guides. Like my mom sometime back had this question that after all what you have gone through with this man, where so much of money, so much of things have happened, how come you're not angry with him? And my thing was that I can't be when I know what role he has played in the whole scenario, how he was only a channel where he helped me clear my own karmic debt. How do I become and remain angry and bitter with that soul? Um People come with various agendas at times, and it's fun and it's crazy to see how the divine beings protect the whole space. Very recently there was this person who came both as a client and as a student to learn the Akashic records, and somewhere there was some contract with her teacher of some other modality where he was supposed to share everything with her. And this is not a space where you can bring along anybody anytime unless they give consent and they're willing to be a part of the whole journey. So there was a lot of chaos that happened, where she sort of piggybacked onto his energies to figure out what was this all about. And the guides were very firm in even closing the records to this person and giving the exact details as to how to handle the whole situation. So any kind of thing, any kind of situation, peculiar or otherwise also, which we can't even envisage, the guides always take care of it. Um, how the past lives flow into the current life is amazing to sometimes understand and witness. One thing that I am being reminded to share is nothing is big or small. Our actions, our intentions, those of our ancestors or of us in other lifetimes, everything has an impact on the hows and whys in the current lifetime. There was one co-facilitator while I was training, where in the family there was a challenge with child conception. So although they had trouble with this and they had been dealing with it for a long time, the doctors were not exactly able to diagnose why this thing was there with some of them. And when we went into the records and worked with it, it was shown that in one of the past lives, one of the ancestors was a shepherd. So भेड़ बकरी जो पालते हैं, he was in that role. And in that lifetime, for whatever reason, the man had separated the kids from the mother. She was given the visual that the little goatees, छोटे जो बच्चे थे उनको उनकी माँ से अलग करके they had sold off. So that was the genesis point of the family having challenges in the child conception. So this lady was then shown how to close this whole thing, to seek forgiveness, and to ease it up, for their journey. And when she did that, her own conception of a child she later on shared with us could happen without any medical intervention. So it was crazy amazing to witness how you can go into your records or connect with your records and clean up also. You can seek forgiveness, close all contracts. So one of the reasons why I had a lot of challenges around money in this lifetime also was because I have been nun, or I have been into different organizations, so to say, where I was a monk. So there were oaths and vows from those lifetimes where I had taken vows to not own money. So I could earn money for the organization. So everywhere in this lifetime where I walked in, there was always a second round of capital infusion, or the company growing. So money would come in. There would be growth of the organization from level 1 to level 2. But whatever money would come into my bank account had to go for some other thing. So whatever we say in one lifetime, it is not limited to just that. The words are forever. So जो कहते हैं ना कि बहुत सोच समझ के आप बोलो, सरस्वती जिह्वा पे वास करती है, it's actually true because the universe is in the tathastu, so be it, you said it, it is there forever. So many times when we work in the records, we are shown what kind of oaths, vows, even sometimes curses, because ancestors, and I have been my own ancestor too in the same family lineage. So we have done some pretty extraordinary stuff for the family to have gone through whatever. So I am born into a family of doctors. So see how the connection is. The lifetime where I was a doctor in the Nazi regime and whatever happened. So I had to again choose a lineage where there was a chance of again becoming a doctor and serving people, or choosing to serve people in some other way. So when you start getting into your records or your ancestral scrolls, you can actually join the dots much faster and figure out how best and what things can be done to ease life for yourself and for the generations to come. So when you are working with the Akashic records, you are not just doing things for yourself, you are actually doing things for the whole of humanity. Why? Because we are all part of the whole, right? So anything that you or I work with in our energy zone, in our soul journey, it is also going into the collective consciousness. It is also helping everyone else. Um, Two things which have happened over the years for me is, one, as I said, that victimhood is gone, because I can no longer be choosing to be a victim when I can know the genesis of something, what has led to what. So then the choice of being a victim is gone. What it also does is you can't be a savior either. You can't now say, oh, I want to save this person, I want to save that person, I have to do this for my mother, or I have to do this for my father. Because again, you understand that your role is not that of a savior either, because everybody is playing out their own chain of cause and effect. Every choice that we have ever made in any lifetime has a consequence. Whether I chose to be quiet, whether I chose to be a part of the whole killing, I had a choice and I chose something, and that choice has led to a consequence. That is the karma that we talk about, the seed that has got sown. Like you see a ground, a absolutely empty ground on a summer afternoon, it has got nothing. But the moment there is a shower, the rains come, the ground is full of grass. Now, overnight, nobody has gone and sown anything in that ground. The ground had the seeds, and when there was the right amount of water, it simply popped up. Likewise, in our life, the karmic seeds that we are carrying, when the time is right, it will come out, and it will be whatever it will be. And when we are in a zone of acceptance and we understand that nobody is out to get us or against us, and we always have the divine grace with us, working with us, then I feel life becomes much easier. And that is what has over the years happened for me with the Akashic Records. It has helped me cope with my situations, with my life journey in a constructive manner, I would say. And that has not just helped me, I feel in all humility, people who have come for a reading or a session or a workshop, I have seen people using it to create breakthroughs, understand their own journey better, and be more empowered. Because when you are not a savior, when you are not a victim, you are empowered. There is nothing that you cannot do or be. So for me, the whole journey with the Akashic record has been of empowerment. That's how I see it. I mean, that's where I am today, and the solo journey also that I'm now on. The guide showed way back, but then I took my own human time to get there and align with and embrace it and do the work that I'm meant to do. Uh, that's how it is. So I I am through with whatever I had to share. Any questions I would be happy to take on.
So anybody wants to ask a question, please? Vatsala, yes.
Mm, Yes, Reena, let me tell you how wonderful your session was. First, you're a blessed soul. You're changing the world one soul at a time. I can very well imagine how many people's lives have transformed. Now, I have four or five very important questions. One is, how come you became um, a specialist in Akashic Records? I mean, this seems like a very specialized occult science. So, like being trained for a doctor, you need certain qualities. What is it? Anybody cannot become an Akashic reader, isn't it?
Anybody can become. So there is no qualification prereq that you have to have. If you
Okay.
wish to learn it, you can
That is
learn
that.
it.
You don't have to
Yeah.
be a medium, qualities of being a medium.
No,
No,
no.
no. Okay.
What I have understood over the years is if there is a willingness and if you have done this work maybe in some other lifetime, like in my case, I have done some kind of this work in other lifetimes too.
You need a
So,
calling.
but the willingness is enough. There is no specific ability that one has to have.
Yes. There has to be that bulava from within. That's a
Yes,
calling.
absolutely. That's the term. If the bulava is there, then it is there.
Okay. Then the second thing is, it is impossible for you to remain impervious to the experiences that the others, the records have shown you. How do you replenish your pranic energy? See, people,
Okay, so
there also is a feeling of a time. Though you say you are a medium, you are a medium for healing others and you also transform. Sometimes it can be so crushing. It is terrible. I cannot even bear to see a sad movie. You are seeing real life instances. So how do you keep your sanity and your inner?
Vasalaji, again, it is grace. I
Hmm.
am basically an empath, and all my life I would get impacted by people very easily. But in this work, somehow, once the session is over, it is like a switch off. Everything that was there, emotionally or otherwise, is taken away. So it's a clean slate for me. I don't have to do anything. It is grace. The way it is designed, the way it gets channeled is I'm only a courier guy. That's how I define or kind of label myself. I'm only a courier guy. Once your parcel is delivered, my work is over. And everything that was there, many a times, as you rightly asked or pointed out, that before the session or during the session, I might have certain physical kind of energy imprints which are also pointer where to explore more. I might have a pain or I might have suddenly something giving a hint of where to go further for deliberation. But as soon as the session is over, everything goes away. I have nothing in my space.
Okay.
So there is no cord cutting, there is no shielding, none of those things are required when I am engaging in a session. The divine takes care of everything.
And another personal thing, I'm a little scared. I completely believe in this. I have a question is, if there will be people who will feel crushed by the bad karma. For example, I am a sensitive kind of person because I was told I have arthritis problem. By prayer and grace, I am out of it. If I know what bad karma has come, will it not shake my faith or make me sad and crushed? Or,
No,
have you seen cases like that?
no. So what I have also over the years I've been prompted to do is to also get trained as a counselor. So
Okay.
they made me go through counseling courses also so that the space can be held for people who are coming. But importantly, they meaning the divine team, actually give the way, the words, something that is to be communicated to the client, how to communicate and to hold the space. It is all given. And as I shared earlier, if you're not ready for something, they will not show it. They are never unkind. Like I told you, the whole Nazi thing. It was only 6 months back I was given the whole download. All these years, maybe I was not ready to receive it. So unless you are ready to receive something, I will never be shown that because it is useless. It will not be of any help.
Your session was wonderful, absolutely nice. And there may come a time when I may come to you as a client.
Thank you so
Uh,
much.
Don't
Most
worry,
welcome.
can I add something to Vatla? Please don't go. I just want to add something
I would go.
out of the question. You see, you raised this point, which is, of course, very good. I am scared. So it is like this that every saint has a past, and every sinner has a future. I always remember this thing and always share that when I went to my Guru, there were so many things. I was full of myself, I was very arrogant, I was a very difficult person. And she must have seen everything. But she had called me. Somebody from the office just went up to her and said, हमारे ऑफिस में एक साहब है, उसको आना है, वो आता नहीं है. Because I never wanted to go to a guru because I used to feel all gurus are cheats. They are running their businesses. But the guru said, हाँ वो उसको बोलो बुधवार को आएगा तो अच्छा है. So the intention was placed, and on that Wednesday I actually made it to the ashram. And even before I met the guru, I received some Shaktipat, some experience happened, this, that, whatever happened. Now the thing is, what I really understood out of all this much later when I went through the transformation was that the guru, when the sees, or we are there before our guides, the Akashic records are there, they don't see what we have done in the past. They know it, but they see what can be done to help this person in the future. So going through a past life regression or an Akashic records reading, it's not about fear, what it is going to disclose. It's about hope that it might provide something which will reduce my entanglements and my awareness will be raised higher. So in the our tradition there is always this thing, I think I mentioned it in the Guru Gita course also, that existence is very compassionate. There is a choice. You don't want to change, you don't want to change. But karma is a minefield. So you are walking on the minefield, you are the soldier walking on the minefield. Every now and then you will put one leg somewhere, you will know that now the leg has gone on the mine. So there is a problem. The moment you take the leg off, the pressure switch goes off and the mine blows. The damage comes. So there is the chance of getting caught every now and then, the minefield. There is the other way, that you can choose to fly over the minefield in a helicopter. So you won't put from one safe zone to the other. The mined area is avoided. The third choice is you take a rocket and go up, leave this planet. So that is why it is in our scriptures it is said that there is the Pippalika mark, the way of the ant. So you can keep walking horizontally. There will be progress. Yes, karma will be resolved, many lifetimes will happen, and then finally, because enlightenment is guaranteed. Shiva has come in the embodied form and become Jiva. So after about 500 lifetimes, Shiva has decided, oh my God, I am tired of all this drama. It is useless. I must go back to the source. So the journey to the source has begun. Now, how does that journey play out is that this is the Pipalika mark, that you keep resolving the karma little by little, maybe spend some lifetimes, and then it comes. The other is the way of the eagle. No matter how many minds are there, no matter what kind of storms are raging in the atmosphere, the eagle flies high suddenly. He is above the clouds. Nothing affects him. So this is what Rajan Bhai had said, that if after having been caught up in the linear time, you go vertically high. So when you go vertically high, suddenly you are high in awareness. So the karma is there, but it will stop playing out in the life. You are risen above. So that is what happens. That when something like this happens, some secrets are revealed, then you get a way out. You know, okay, I am at peace with myself. This is how I can win peace with myself. And then the journey becomes easy.
The time has to be right for everything. I
No,
can share with you, before I joined the Tuesday gathering, I was worried about soul healing because it was unknown. We always are afraid of the unknown. Ignorance is one cause. I used to be terrified of Tapa meditation because you see so many things and the people are now doing advocacy for that. They do terrible things and then they say they are doing Tapa meditation. So there has to be a time for everything. Like just as I did not know that I used to be really scared of this meditation. I used to keep away.
no, it's all right. That is why we are sharing. That is why we are sharing.
But
The
because
idea to share is that people should know.
once having joined the Tuesday gathering, met you, that you have accepted everything, my comfort level is different. My time has come. So it has to be there.
मैं कुछ
Okay.
Thank you,
पूछूं?
Miss. Thank you, Miss Reena. It's a wonderful session. God bless you for all the good you are doing.
And you see, Reena is a living example. That is what I said in the beginning. That,
Yes,
how a person has to confront or be confronted with the
mm,
past, and the journey to the future lies through making peace with the past.
and I'm so touched by her generosity and honesty. Very touched. Very touched. It's an example of how we should speak in Tuesday
No,
gathering.
she is special. She is
Yes.
special. Yes.
Can I
Thank you so
ask
much.
something?
Yes, please go ahead.
Can I ask something?
Yes, Rakesh, please go ahead.
रीना जी, आप हिंदी समझते हो कि सिर्फ
हाँ जी
अंग्रेजी समझते हो?
बिल्कुल।
अरे
बिल्कुल।
रीना
अच्छा,
झारखंड की है।
तो
छत्तीसगढ़
पहली
में
बात
पली
तो
बड़ी हूँ।
छत्तीसगढ़ सॉरी।
अच्छा,
नहीं,
पहली
बोलिए।
बात तो मुझे आपका फोन नंबर चाहिए और आप कहाँ रहते हो? इफ आई वांट टू मीट यू, राइट?
श्योर, मैं ज़रूर से
और
शेयर करूँगी।
हाँ,
बिल्कुल।
और दूसरी बात ये है कि जो भी कुछ मुझे पूछना है, वो आई थिंक इट्स बेटर दैट आई कम टू यू एंड मीट देयर इन योर सेशंस और व्हाटएवर यू कॉल इट.
Sessions can happen anytime over the phone, sir. So there is no need to be हमें एक ही कमरे में बैठकर करने की ज़रूरत नहीं होती है. हम over the
ओके,
phone भी सेशन कर सकते हैं. तो
अच्छा,
physical distance is not a challenge.
अच्छा, ठीक है. मैं अभी फिलहाल बनारस में हूँ. वैसे आई स्टेट पुणे, लेकिन किसी वजह से मैं यहाँ आया हूँ वाइफ के साथ।
तो
तो
सेशन तो कभी भी सर कहीं से भी कर सकते हैं, इट इज़ नॉट लिमिटेड बाय फिजिकल प्रॉक्सिमिटी,
तो
नॉट एट ऑल।
टाइमिंग्स बता सकते हो आप?
You
हम
take her
अगर से
number
बात
and you
करेंगे
can
सर,
speak to
या
her.
वी
She
विल
will give
फिगर
an
दैट आउट सर।
appointment.
हैं?
It is not to be given here.
या
It has
वी
to
विल डू इट सेपरेटली सर।
be separate.
हाँ ठीक है, मुझे आप अलग से नंबर भेज दिएगा बाबू।
मैं भेज दूंगा.
ठीक है, थैंक यू।
Anybody else having a question, please go ahead.
I don't have a question, but I had to add something to this. Namaskar,
Uh,
Reena ji. Very, very
just a
interesting.
नमस्ते।
minute, Dr. Karya. I will put you on spotlight. Yes, go
Sorry,
ahead.
sorry, sorry, sorry. Sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Dr. Karya is from Kenya. She joins us from Kenya.
Thank you.
थैंक यू मैम।
Namaskar, Reena ji. Amazing,
नमस्कार।
amazing. Very nice session. You know, back in the days, I mean, I know I have been through my past life as well, and it just happened. So I just want to add something to it because I used to do past life regression on people, not really Akashic records,
हम्म।
but I used to call it just past life regression. But I only used to do it because I'm an alternative medical practitioner as well. So when no alternative medicines worked, like so I'll just give you an example of one lady, that I don't know whether you have time for those examples, but just take them when nothing used to work, like if they used to acupressure, aromatherapy, any alternative medical didn't used to work, then I used to take them. So all our it's echoing. Wait, is that okay now?
Yes,
Because I think there
yes.
was echoing. No, so there was. I just, if it's okay, Brahma Kumarj, I just want to add one incident. What had happened with one lady. She couldn't conceive. She had a child, and after 2.5 years old, the child died. So and then she couldn't conceive for many years, and she tried all the medical this thing. Then she came once to me. She said, "You do some, I did healing, I did aromatherapy, reflexology, all the acupressure points, everything, but nothing seemed to be working." Then that's the only point when I thought that okay, it's necessary to take, because I was always scared a little bit to take people into past life, but then I said, okay, let me only for these reasons, health reasons. So when I took her into her past life, she started speaking, and I have a little recorder, a voice recorder, which I used to just record their voice. So they speak from their voice. I don't say anything. So she started speaking that she was in this village in India, and she was a stepmother, and she was very cruel to this boy, a 7-year-old boy. And then once she hit him, and because of the brain hemorrhage, he died. So in this life, that boy came, stayed 2.5 years, because then he had like some curse against her that you will not, so, and then went away. तो उसने बोला था कि you will live also really, तुम मेरे लिए इतना ही तड़पोगे जितना तुम मुझे अभी neglect कर रही हो. So this was just one example I wanted to share, but then after that incident I stopped doing it because I thought it was too intense, to go through this. So I don't know. I just wanted your opinion on this, or what do you have to say something about it? Hmm?
Two things here. One, when a session happens, the client doesn't again go through the same trauma that the past life shows up as. It is a narrative. So the person, unlike a PLR session where you go through everything again, you don't go through it in an Akashic record reading session.
Hmm.
Two, many a times, and there are remedies which are shown, there are ways which are shown as to how to close a open cycle, so to say. So if there has been attack, counter attack, and this thing has been going on for a while, as in quite a few lifetimes, then the guides
Hmm.
also show how to close it. One interesting thing which I forgot to mention, many a times the remedies that get shown, the client then says, you know what? Looking at my horoscope, the astrologer has also asked me to do the same things. Now, I am not into astrology, I don't understand those remedies, but during a session, the remedies that come can resonate or be an exact mirroring of what you have already been shown through some other medium.
Hmm.
So, this helps to close things, Dr. Kalpana, as in it shows you how to do it. They actually give specific instructions on how to close a particular open contract, a soul contract, with different souls in the family or in the extended family, wherever there is a continued, pattern which is going on.
It's a similar thing as past life regression, isn't it? Akashic
No,
Records.
I will say an emphatic no, because in a PLR session, since I've gone through one, the therapist is like a surgeon, has to be very good with the opening of the wound as well as closing of the wound. Many of the therapists are very good with the opening, but not with the closing, and that's a dangerous thing. As compared with that, when you are engaging in a session for somebody, you are not taking them through any of the past life trauma, energetically or otherwise. We are only receiving information that this is what has happened and this is what can now be done to restore the sanctity of whatever needed to be done. But the person is not undergoing hypnotherapy, the person is not again going through the past life trauma conditions in this human body. No.
Okay, all right. So
So
this
that
is
is,
much better
yeah,
than
this
past
is,
life regression.
yeah, for me,
Because
I
I have
have,
very clear
yeah,
cases. Yeah, like, okay, one thing what healed one lady, like one lady had a very severe back problem and nothing was healing her. And eventually, when we took her to past life regression, she started saying that she was in Vietnam, she was holding big sacks of rice and holding, because of severe spinal injury, she died. So that spinal injury carried on in her subconscious
yeah.
mind in this
So
life.
cellular level memory carries on. It doesn't die.
Yeah. Hmm.
So
And
that
then that's
also we are
how we
shown
tried to
how
give
to
her
deal
some,
with that.
the therapies, and that she cured. So yeah, okay, yeah, I understand. But this is much better than what you're saying. I'm not too much aware of Akashic Records, but I had done the other one before. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thanks,
sharing.
Brahma Kumaji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Sir, Vatsalaji has raised her hand. Vatsalaji, go ahead. Unmute yourself. Okay, she's making faces. That means it's.
Anybody wants to say something? Umaji, you want to say something? Huh? No?
uh,
Uh,
Been an excellent session. Thoroughly
it
enjoyed.
was an excellent session. Reena, I have to share something.
Please, sir.
Uh, I have been doing these sound healing sessions, and I was doing some free sessions, 2 days a week or something like that. And suddenly this idea came that if we do it, see, 10 sessions in a row over 2 weeks or 5 working days of the week, so 2 weeks, 10 sessions, it will be very nice. So there, people have had some very amazing experiences, and some of the participants have gone through past life regression in a big way.
Mm.
Because when the cellular memory in the cells are being energized and they start vibrating at a higher frequency, then the memory is released.
Yeah.
So some amazing experiences are there, and people have got insights into some of their fears and their traumas. Like somebody just discovered that this there is an aversion to touch by the touch from the opposite sex, and this mystery got resolved because she was taken to the memory was released, and the memory of being exploited in some lifetime just came up in a big way. And because we are doing this sound healing, and we end with a meditation or this silencing of the mind, so she was able to watch it unfold and not be affected by it. And therefore that resolution came. Otherwise there was this big question, why is it happening, why is it like this? And that fear started coming down, the fear of being, in the company of a male person or approached by a person, that began to dissolve. So some of these experiences have come, or we used some of these techniques borrowed from soul healing, some soul conferencing, inviting other souls to come and receive sound therapy. So those souls who are having problems with each other, invite them. So it may be a third person having problem with a fourth person. So invite both the souls to come and just receive healing, and or invite somebody else to receive healing. So one lady invited her sister, who is always on tenterhooks. That day when she called up, then the sister said, "Today I am feeling very good." So it was proof that the soul had received healing. And then later on the sister joined the program.
Sir, this is crazy amazing, because it reminds me of the last workshop that I had in Bombay. So there was this participant who has had sexual abuse by her own father, and somewhere during the whole workshop, whatever happened, she later on messaged that I now get the full picture of why something like that has even unfolded. And the healing is so instantaneous, like you said. It is crazy amazing to even witness how just the revelation itself heals.
Yes.
What you're saying, I can so relate with it.
Coming to terms with the past is always healing. And it gives a kind of an insight into what is happening here in this life.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the records, what also happens is we can dip into the future possibilities, because nothing is cast in stone. I forgot to mention that. But yeah, you can also go check A versus B versus C versus D options that you want to explore. So that also is possible with the help of the records.
So would you like to give us a meditation? Just take everyone to their
Sir,
records.
that
Sir, a
is
minute.
your.
Huh?
I'm waiting to go there with you. Please,
No,
sir.
now that you are here, we will not find you again. So
नहीं नहीं मैं आऊंगी
it's a
सर.
good opportunity.
One last
Sir,
point.
sir, I have shared Reena's phone number in the chat.
I have
जिन
one
लोगों को भी
last
जरूरत है वो वहां से नोट कर
हाँ,
सकते हैं
हम
नंबर.
ग्रुप में भी
Thank
डाल
you.
सकते हैं.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
ग्रुप में डाल
I
सकते
think Vatsala ji has a question.
yes.
हैं.
Let
हाँ,
me
Last one.
spotlight her. Please
जी
continue.
वत्सला जी.
Now, Miss Reena, I got my aha, my bulb moment when Dr. Kalpana Karya asked the question about her regression. I reached the past life regression when I said, uh, will I react if I ask you a question? That doubt has been cleared. You are not taking us with it. You are just
No,
giving us the
no,
information.
no.
That's a very important. So I am coming to you. That's a
Most
big
welcome,
opportunity
ma'am.
for me.
Would
Thank
be
you.
happy to serve you.
And thanks to you and thanks to Master Uma. So my mind has become open about accepting many new ways of transformation and healing. Thanks to you and Master Uma.
No,
Thank you
we
so much.
can never thank Master Uma enough.
Yes.
Having her come to Tuesday gatherings and give those sessions in soul
A great
healing
blessing.
has been amazing. And there are so many people who have, and I just should acknowledge it, because I am using some of those techniques into the sound healing, and it is amazing, amazing. So thank you, Umaji. And so what next?
Meditation guided by you, sir. That is what is next. That's my request to you, because then I also
Okay, okay,
stand to gain and benefit.
okay. So Take a comfortable posture. And become aware of your breathing. Feel the breath come in and also feel the breath going out. As we begin to watch the breath, the body and the mind begin to come into a state of repose. There is relaxation as far as the body is concerned. And the flurry of thoughts striking the mind begins to slow down. We are trapped between the past and the future. The past holds records that are deciding our journey. Through the future. But between the past and the future, there is this present moment. And this is our only opportunity to live and to be. When we are fully in the present, we are not affected by the past or the future, because we are who we are. So use the vehicle of the breath to go within and be fully in the present. Feel the breath, how it enters the nostrils. Go to the top of the nasal passage where the breath turns inside. It takes almost a U-turn and goes down, filling the lungs and the chest. It presses down the abdomen comes out, and then it goes back. This is the physical journey of the breath, which is more connected with the passage of air through our body. But breath does something more. It is the carrier of prana, the life force. No matter what we do in life, no matter where we are in life, we need prana. Because it is prana that is going to grant us release. Through all the therapies we receive, when we come to terms with the past, the energy trapped in the memory is released. And because the energy trapped in the cellular memory is released, the memory is erased and our prana goes up. So just become aware of your past. Become aware of all the grudges that you may be holding, all the fears that may be stopping you from living a full life. All the anger at having been treated unfairly, and sometimes the emotion is there even though you do not know why it is coming. Some people remain habitually irritated without there being any trigger for that irritation. They don't know because the trigger lies in the past, in another lifetime. So one by one, become aware of all the binding emotions, the habit patterns, subconscious belief systems, and choose or decide which one is more binding or most binding in this moment. And as you breathe in this time, feel the breath coming inside you as prana, and offer the food of prana to that emotion. The binding thought, the memory, whatever. It might be a relationship that is troubling you. It may be some issue which has been nagging or which is lingering and not getting resolved. Bring that thought, that emotion, that person, and offer him or her or the situation the food of your prana. And offer it with love, not in the mood of confrontation. There has to be a recognition that everything that has come up is for a reason. But ego is so clever. It takes ownership of everything that is good or celebratory, and it puts the blame on others when there is something that is not celebratory, troubling, or challenging. It is the divine duty cast upon us to raise the frequency and vibration of this planet. To make it a better place. And we can do this just by this simple shift in awareness. Let each breath become the carrier of prana that it is, but we don't perceive it. And let each dose of prana we receive reach what is holding us back in this moment. It can be fear, anger, resentment, feeling of revenge, dislike, a sense of superiority, pride, this creation is no different from God. All the souls are playing their roles. So when we become high in prana, we are able to see the divinity in them. We have to deal with them as we must, but without rancor, without anger, without a sense of duality. And this is what we have learned from today's session. So beautifully articulated and put across. So use your breath to fill yourself with prana and offer the same to everything that is not serving you well in this moment. And as we do it lovingly, we can actually feel the burden lifting from our shoulders. We can also feel how the others are being transformed. If need be, don't feel shy to seek forgiveness and to offer forgiveness. This is the divine duty. Let us chant. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. sit quietly for a few minutes and you can silently chant these magical words to yourself. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. Gently become aware of the physical dimension of the breath. Also become aware of the contact between your body and wherever you are seated or lying down. You might want to bring your palms together and rub them against each other gently. Keep your gaze full of loving attention. Put your hands on your face, cover your eyes with your palms. Give yourself 5, 7 seconds, 10 seconds for the energy that is there in your palms to travel and be absorbed by your being. Gently caress your face. As if you are offering your love, your highest love to yourself. And when you are ready, you can open your eyes. So, how does everyone feel?
Thank you. It was amazing,
Good.
sir.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So, what an amazing session, Reena. So, thank you once again
My
for
privilege, sir.
taking time off. And I knew it was going to be great. But I also today knew that why it did not happen earlier. I had asked you sometime in, I think, August of 2020, and it did not happen. But there is a time and place for everything. So today I know why it had to
Thank
be
you so
like
much,
this.
sir.
And I am sure everybody who has heard Reena, we have learned some very valuable lessons. And it requires a lot of courage to open up and share one's life with such clarity and forthrightness as you have done today. We are so grateful, Reena. And there was a lot of power and energy when you spoke. Throughout the session, I had a throbbing, intense throbbing sensation on the Agnya Chakra. So you were the channel, but the masters were speaking through you today. So we are all really blessed to have you. Thank you so much. And I like to end with a prayer. ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. May there be peace and auspiciousness everywhere. Thank you, everyone. We will be meeting next Tuesday. And thank you, Reena, once again. God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you.